Well, we've survived in the Premier League for another season. Now I just have to decide if I want to stay at Ipswich or not. Hello and welcome to Season 10, Episode 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we've got the last two games of the Premier League season away to Derby and Man United. They're 5th and 1st. Yeah, so not holding out a lot of hope. It's been a rough couple of games since that FA Cup semi-final. We went away to Rotherham, who were relegation candidates, and we lost 3-0. We then finally secured our safety for another season by beating another of the relegation candidates, Southampton, 2-0. But I don't know. I'm still down after the FA Cup semi-final. I'm all miserable and thinking, oh, shall I leave Ipswich? Shall I go somewhere else? What I want is one of the big four Premier League clubs to come to sack their manager or for the job to become available, or a big European club. I'm ready for a move, I think, but I want to move somewhere big. In the back of my mind, I've still got the fact that the new ground at Ipswich opens next season, the season after next. Quite like to hang around for that so I can leave saying I completely rebuilt the club. Whole new squad of players, new league, new ground, new training facilities, all that stuff. But if the right job comes along, it's been 5 years now. I'm ready to move, I think. We shall see, though. Let's get into today's game. The first one is away against Derby. This is the team that we're playing. Again, the only player missing really is Leader, who is close to being fit again. There's an outside chance he might be ready for United. Probably not, though. It's a slip disc. Why bring him back on the last game of the season? Let him recover over the summer. So this is the team that we're going with. Walker-Peters has played the last couple of games at left back instead of Will Leach. Just trying him out, really. He's not done too bad. In fact, he's done pretty well. He was in the Premier League Team of the Week last week. He's got the best average rating over the last 5 games, apart from Dane, who had a blinder on his first game back after his suspension, 8.5. So hopefully that's shaken him up a little bit, the fact I shouted at him so much off the back of that game. The strikers aren't in best of form, but they both scored in the last game, so hopefully we want Arendt to get a couple more goals and finish as top scorer. It would be nice to have the Premier League top goal scorer in my side. Let's get into this game then. So, all we really want is to set Arendt up for a couple of goals. If he can get a hat-trick today, I think that puts him as Premier League top goal scorer going into that last game of the season. I don't hold out a lot of hope of beating Man United away. They should wrap up the title today, but that just means they're going to be all happy and excited getting presented with the title when we're there. Arendt's just got his first one, though, which is handy. What's that, 27, 28 for the season? I didn't see when it came up because I was too busy speculating about the Man United title party. I mean, he's done well there. The first shot was a little weak, but there was 2 players in his way for the rebound, and he got past them both. And to tuck it away, he is just a natural goal scorer. Still can't believe we picked him up for, £3.5–4 million? Why no one else was in for him, I will never know, because straight away he looked like a superstar. And he's fed Vaughan there, and Vaughan really should have done a little bit better. I would have put that down as a clear-cut chance. Apparently it wasn't one, but I would have expected Johnny Vaughan to score there. That would have put him in double figures for the season as well, which he scored a lot of goals in our Championship promotion season. He took a little while to adjust last year. Didn't stop me spending £20 million on him, but he has definitely come good this season. He made his England debut last month, I think. He's played a couple of games for England now, so we've actually got an England midfielder in our side, which is very nice. Fritsch has picked up a bit of a knock. Have we got anyone who can play right back and we can bring on for him? Because we have. We'll bring Will Leach on and we'll swap Walker-Peters over there. There's just no point risking him. We've got nothing to play for. I know it's only a dead leg, but he's played a lot of games coming in as a young player who'd never really played a lot of games before. He's pretty much played every game since we signed him in January. So he deserves a little bit of a rest for a dead leg. I'll let him have that. As of right now, we're in the top half of the Premier League. This could be quite an encouraging end to the season after all. Derby are up in 5th, but no chance at all of a Champions League spot. I mean, it really is a properly established top 4 in the Premier League again now. I mean, look at them. It's the 4 you would expect 10 years in the future. It's still them 4, and they're still miles better than everyone else. Which kind of means, unless I want an horrifically long tiny little improvement each year kind of save, I need to go and manage one of those 4 clubs or go abroad, because there's just no breaking into that. They're 15 points at Chelsea in 4th, for 15 points ahead of Derby in 5th. United are 25, 30 points ahead at the top of the league. That is pretty close to insurmountable. Yeah, what is it? Well, it's not 25, it's 21, but still, that's a lot of points. Right, Derby seemed to have scored a goal while I was waffling. That wasn't really in the script. Yusuf's not having a great game, so he can come off, bring Cool on, and just swap those 2 over. In fact, let's give Chris a go as the box-to-box midfielder. He's finally completed his intensive language course, but still only has a basic grasp of English, so we've sent him on another intensive language course, which is apparently going to be another 42 weeks. So if I continue with my hopefully he'll come good when he can speak the language thing, it's going to be back end of next season before he starts to becoming the player we were expecting when we signed him. But unless we get some offers for him, I don't really see what else we can do, really. And who would buy him after the season he's had? Because he hasn't been particularly impressive. I took him off there, by the way. Oh, there we go. And now we're losing. We're back in the bottom half of the season. Normal service has resumed. And we're going to lose against United as well. What a miserable end to the season. These last 2 episodes, miserable. We've not really got much money to spend in the summer either, because we spent like £120 million this season. So there's not. I don't expect there to be much transfer money next season. So it's going to be. I mean, it could go one of 2 ways next year, assuming I'm still here. The last time we did this, and I was starting to get glum, and it had been 2 years of gradual improvement, and then we ran out of money and couldn't buy any players. We went and got promoted the next season because that was exactly what we needed. We needed to not bring any new players and just let the ones we had properly bed in together. So, who knows? Let's go and play Man United anyway. Right, last game of the season then. We're away at champions Man United, and we're trying something a little bit different. What I've done is I went to my backroom advice thing, and I've just taken every instruction that my assistant manager has given me. So this is the tactic he's been telling me to play away against big teams for the last 5 years. I've used his formation, I've used all his player instructions. I don't agree with all of them. I don't like the fact we're structured. I don't like the fact we're defensive. I certainly don't like what he's done with my strikers. They've got 50 goals between them this season playing as a complete forward and a poacher. He's changed it. Vaughan's spent 3 seasons playing as a trequartista. It's been changed. But you know what? We were going to lose at United anyway. Let's go and see if this might be the defensive system we've been looking for all this time. And if it's been sat there on my bench with my assistant manager nattering it in my ear for 5 years, then I'm going to blame him for not bringing it up often enough. Because it obviously can't be my fault. So, this is what we're doing. Not lost yet. Not conceded a goal yet. It works. The man's a genius. I mean, I do like a diamond. I don't know if I like this version of a diamond. It's so very defensive. But who knows? We'll see what happens. The midfield all look very squished up together there. There was like 5 players all within a couple of feet of the ball. It's a man just... I mean, he's captain today, but it's only because Dane and Leader are both injured. I think this might be it for Jan Zeman. He's just too slow. Can't get his rating above 7 ever. He was a fantastic loan signing in the Championship, and he deserved a permanent deal with us off the back of what he did to help us get promoted. But he's been at the club 4 years now. It might be time to move him on. He's pretty firmly 4th choice centre back now, behind the Zabala, Dane, and Leader when he's fit. It's probably time to move him on. What's Yusuf done here? Getting himself a yellow card so early in the game. That's not ideal. The one thing I am hoping with this changing system is that it'll free Chris up a little bit, because he's not being forced to play as the defensive midfield player. Fritsch's doing that behind him. So he might just be able to show us a little glimpse of what he should, in theory, be capable of. I sometimes find... there you go, we're losing. I sometimes find myself sitting there just looking at Chris's stats when I'm playing offline, just trying to work it out, because everything about him suggests he should be a top player for us. And it must just be the adaptability thing. He obviously still isn't settled to Europe, England, Ipswich, whatever it might be. We bought him from Brazil, and he's obviously just not adapting properly, which is a real shame, because he'll go on somewhere else and he'll go on to be a Champions League player, and it's really frustrating because he could do it for us. Well, this system doesn't work, does it? We've had one shot on target in nearly the entire first half. We've got no attacking threat at all. I mean, yes, we're playing Man United, but the idea of doing a system like this is to just close out the opposition completely, and it's not really working out like that, is it? I think I'm going to switch back to our usual system for the second half and then sack my assistant manager. That being said, last year, he didn't score. He was offside. He didn't used to do that as a complete forward. It's only since he's been a target man that he's been getting himself offside. Right, should we sack Ian Culverhouse in the summer? I mean, that's I'm tempted to, actually, just for funsies, just to shake things up a little bit. Right, let's do that, actually. Should we let Chris just have the freedom of being the roaming playmaker? Why not? Let's let him have a bit of fun. See what he can do. He's probably only going to get 15 minutes before I haul him off. But he might just go and be awesome, and we might have found a role for him. I mean, with his stats, I can't believe I've not played him there at all already, but I kind of wanted him to establish himself in the team before I gave him the freedom to be the player who everything went through, which is why he's not had a chance out there yet. But there you go, you get to do it at Old Trafford. If you can do it here, you can do it anywhere, and I'll make you captain. That's my promise to you, Chris. I'm pretty sure he's not listening. His rating's gone up though. He was 6.4 when we moved him out there. He's up to 6.8 now. We'll give him another 10 minutes before we drag him off again. I mean, he's probably getting out of breath at this point. He's not used to being on the pitch much longer than this, because I don't know that he's completed a match for us this season. Because that was a great piece of goalkeeping from Garrett there. I mean, we're not embarrassing ourselves against Man United. Arendt's potentially through there, and he has done fantastically. What an amazing piece of forward play that was, because it was a sort of scrappy lump forward from Fritcher, really. And Arendt's got it all to do and finds himself a huge amount of space in their penalty area. And what a calm finish. I mean, I don't know that I've ever had a better finisher in Football Manager than that man. And if we can sort his fitness out and get him to play a full season, he'll get 35 goals. It's ridiculous. Right, Chris gets to stay on. We're going to take off Yusuf and Johnny Vaughan. So Texera can come on for Yusuf. And Henry Smith can have a go being the trequartista behind the front two. Why not? I mean, it's mad, really. But with the players in front of him, it's the position he's going to have to learn to get good in if he wants to stay around in the squad. With Gomez leaving, he's going to be the backup to Johnny Vaughan next season, because he's the only other player at the club who's even remotely ready to play as an attacking midfield player. So if we can't bring anyone in, and I am expecting to not have much money to spend, Henry Smith is probably going to be our backup trequartista. So he needs to get good at it. Ideally, I should probably retrain Lacio to do it. Maybe he would make more sense. But Henry Smith's already halfway there, so let's use him. Gives him a role in the team then, and he is a good young English player. So we've got to find a way to get him involved somehow, because we haven't got many of them. He does a great interception there, but Preston can't get to it, and I think they're going to snatch a third here, aren't they? Yep, there it is. Never mind. That's his 30th goal of the season. I guess he's beaten Arendt to the Golden Boot then, which is a shame. I think Arendt had finished on 27, 28. I mean, he's got a chance to get another one, but he's not going to get up to 30. Hopefully a lot of them are in the Champions League or something, and he's not actually got as many league goals as Arendt, but we'll see. Go on, let's go and grab another one. How's Chris doing? I haven't looked at his rating for a few minutes. I mean, he seems to be playing quite well. Arendt again. No, he doesn't quite get there. Chris has got himself up to a 6.9. If he breaks for 7, he's going to get a nosebleed. It's not going to happen though, is it? Is it? Could he do something a little bit special to get himself an extra 0.1 of rating in the last 20 seconds of the game? I don't think it happened, did it? What did he finish on? 6.9. There we go. I mean, it was a massive improvement, though. Maybe that is the answer. He needs to be a more attacking player, which makes no sense looking at everything about him. He should be a defensive midfield player, I think. I don't really get it. Right, let's have a quick look through the squad. Bit of a review of the season. I mean, I know I'm still disappointed about the FA Cup, but realistically, our pre-season expectations... In fact, let's go to the competitions tab. We were supposed to avoid relegation. We finished 12th. We've comfortably avoided relegation. We were never really in a battle. We were looking for 5th round of the FA Cup. We got to the semi-final. Yes, it was devastating, but we got there. We played at Wembley. Capital One Cup is best not talked about. But all in all, I mean, what do the board think? Where does it tell me what? Here we go. Yeah, they're pleased. I'm pleased as well. It's been a good season. Did Aaron get top goal scorer in the end? Let's have a look at the Premier League. He did not. He finished 3rd. Look, 1 goal behind those two. 1 more goal and he'd have been there. But he's played so few games compared to everyone else. Let's get onto the stats screen. He's got his 23 goals in only 29 games. Both of those two in 35 games. So his goals per game is much better than anyone else in this top 10. The only one who's close to him is Allinson at Chelsea. I mean, he's a wonder kid, clearly. 38 goals in 47 games in all competitions. And that's his first season in the Chelsea first team. That is insane. He's going to be a player. I wonder if we can sign him. I mean, look, yeah, he's a bit good, isn't he? How did he do for Bournemouth last season? See, that's bizarre. 5 in 24 for Bournemouth. I don't get it. But he's gone into the Chelsea side and just been awesome. So he's one to keep an eye on, definitely. Looking at our squad, why is it on that? That's what we want it on. So if we look for our average ratings, Yusuf Karaman, useful signing, definitely. 7.6 after coming in January, and also Fritscher, who came in January, 7.51. So those two definitely big important signings. Who else did we sign in January? I'm having a mental block. We signed those two. And Leach, of course, because he was already here. That's why I wasn't thinking him. He's way down here. Less said about him, the better. And Walker Peters coming in as a potential replacement, no better. The thing Leach has got in his favour is he's only 20, and that is his first season of football, really. So that's not too bad. There's stuff to work with there for Will Leach. Aaron obviously had a fantastic season, 7.59 in his first season in the Premier League. Still only 23. I mean, that's a fantastic return for a first season. First season of top flight football anywhere, really. He is going to be an absolute superstar. We just need to try and keep hold of him. Leader, done very well. Moved him across to centre-back when Fritscher came in. He's actually left-footed, which I hadn't realised. All that time I was playing him at right-back and he was getting assists and playing well as a right-back. He's actually a left-footed player. So he's going to be our starting centre-back next season. Not quite sure whether that's going to be alongside Dane or Zabala just yet, but we'll worry about that nearer the time. And Texeira's had another good season. Lacio, our Brazilian wonder kid, still only 20. Again, if Aaron hadn't been here, we'd have been super excited about that. Only cost £5.5 million, 16 goals in 34, nearly a goal every 2 games, but loads of assists as well. Great average rating. He is going to be a top player as well. We've got a fantastic Champions League quality strike partnership there that if we can keep together as they get 2 or 3 years older, they're going to be amazing. And if we don't keep them, we're going to have £100 million come into the club. They're that good, I reckon. Dane, fairly solid season. Thierry Ambrose, I mean, he's not been first choice, but goals-wise, 9 in 14 starts, decent average rating again. I mean, I think, was it last episode I mentioned he's Mr. Ipswich. I'll just keep him here for the rest of his career and then make him assistant manager. I have a real affinity for this player. He's not ever going anywhere. Haidara has agreed to leave the club. He's off to somewhere. I don't even know where that is. Italy, maybe? Palermo? That's Italy, isn't it? Yeah, so he's off to Italy. I mean, he's been a great servant. 4 years have we had out of him? I've said it before. He only ever came in as a backup to Jonas Knudsen. And they were the same age, and Knudson's long gone, and Haidara has only missed out to England's future starting left-back in Will Leach. So that he did all right for a free transfer. Johnny Vaughan, slight disappointment, I guess. £20 million we spent on him, but the important thing is improving. So he's still very young as well. He's only 21. He's got his 2 caps for England now. And most importantly, he's establishing himself as a proper Premier League player, averaging over 7 again. Got 9 goals in the end, 7 assists. He's only going to get better as well. And obviously going to pick up more England caps as well. The big disappointment, where is he? Ben Garrett, not had a very good season. Danny Sotra's, actually, in his 4 games, has been much better. So, I don't know. Garrett's England's 3rd choice goalkeeper. He's in every squad, but has never played for England. I'm thinking, if we do have any money to spend, potentially Garrett is someone we need to be looking to replace, bringing another keeper. Outgoing over the summer, we're probably going to need to get rid of Keziah Sterling. For a player who was so good for us in the Championship, he's just not getting enough game time, and he deserves to move on. He's had 5 years with us now. He deserves to move on and get some game time somewhere else. And then the big disappointment, how far do we have to scroll? I mean, if you could pick 2 players who were going to be down here, Jan Zeman and Chris, it was always going to be those 2. Chris, I still have hope for. Zeman, I think it's time we moved him on. And Henry Smith needs more games next season, or else we're probably going to have to move him on as well. Lastly, finances, a bit worrying, but hopefully TV money and stuff will come through and we won't be forced into selling a player. But that, I mean, like I say, it's been a good season. Next season, if I'm still here, which is a big if, we need to be pushing for Europe if I'm to be encouraged to stay around any longer. Where's the job centre? Let's see if there's anything interesting to... Whoa, there's a lot of jobs to apply for. Tottenham. Werder Bremen. Do we fancy Tottenham? Of course, they were my first... Oh, I can view job adverts again. That's been disabled for like 3 seasons. I tell you what, I think I'll apply for the Spurs job and we'll see what happens. Yeah, and I'm going to keep my eye on the jobs market. Interesting. Very, very interesting. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the start of Season 11, which will be with you tomorrow. Possibly with a new club. And thank you very much for watching.